Well, oh, almost dumped you. This is my poorly recorded Monday live feed. Actually got up this morning. I was working. Did I set that up the way I want? Yes. So got up, got some stuff done. What's up, Jeremy? Got up early. I've got to get stuff done before the wife gets here. I've got stuff that I've been working on trying to get done. You know, I painted the bathtub upstairs, fixed the bathtub, all that stuff. So I'm trying to get stuff, and then I got to clean up. I don't. It's not that the house is dirty. I clutter. I just leave stuff sit, and I just have to put everything back where it comes from. So, yeah, the wife flies out tomorrow to be back on Tuesday. I think they leave tomorrow evening, my time, and then they'll be back here. I forgot to buy creamer. But I bought milk. So they will be back in just a couple days. So, and then they get back. I have to help her get stuff ready and figure out someone to watch the dog because they're going, if I can find somebody to watch the dog, they may be going and staying overnight again at a competition, this Golden West, I think. She's got a competition the weekend she gets back. So she gets back, and then the weekend, so they get back this coming weekend. And then, hang on a second, I got the calendar wrong. They get back the 21st, the weekend of the 30th. Well, that'd be great, Dwayne, if you had ever came out here, you could watch the dog. But if you came out here, you'd be going to Vegas with me and Nico that weekend, so that wouldn't work. But no, I got up. I've got a bunch of stuff to go. I've got a couple knives I want to finish that came in. I didn't work at all this weekend. I had so much stuff going on. I've got a buddy that moved back into town, Navy buddy. He's been gone for a while. I haven't seen him. Been years. He's here local now. We went and ate and hung out. Yuka's drawing eyebrows on that dog. It wouldn't be the first. So yeah, so I've got my buddy here. So I hung out with him Saturday, and then yesterday I woke up and I had intention to do a few things yesterday, and I did. She did draw eyebrows on your beagle. So I got up yesterday and I was doing stuff. I was getting the bathroom put back together because now the paint's all cured and took everything up. But then I felt it brewing. I was like, I've got a headache. And I think I told my sister just out of nowhere, just bang. I got one of those headaches that was so bad. You're just like laying on the couch with a pillow over your face, just sweating. When it came time to eat, I was like, I know I'm hungry, but the thought of food made me sick. And then I went to bed at like 7 o'clock last night. I was like, I can't do this anymore. I gotta go to bed. Yeah, I do. You gonna bring him with you? Dwayne, poor Dwayne. Dwayne is like Charlie Brown, man. If like he didn't have bad luck, he'd have none at all. So he had all kinds of stuff happen, and he was planning on coming out here, and then there was a flood. And then he had a fire. So now he's got something else he's dealing with. It's just been battery chargers, guys. Watch your battery chargers. I started putting mine places where they're not gonna catch on fire. Yeah. So they had a fire in their house. They've been staying at a hotel. I'm like, God, geez, man. We'll get something figured out. You'll come out here eventually if I don't lose the house first. So I put pictures of this up on Reddit. The response seemed rather positive, even though there's a vast majority of people on Reddit that can't stand me for some reason in the knife community. And it's not a huge, Elliot and I looked at it, and we're looking at the amount of people that have had positive things to say. I sharpened my Stonefish. Guys, I'm sorry if I started paying attention to the hater stuff again. It's just that they're always the most vocal. And that one guy is just real vocal. And it bothers me, but then I think about it and I'm like, why does this bother you? You've got like how many positive comments from how many people, and you're gonna focus on that one nutball. So I'm just deleting emails as they come in, and they keep coming. They keep coming. I got another one after we talked, but I'll take care of it differently. If you guys start a YouTube channel or something, just expect haters. Expect them. I mean, it's just gonna happen because people have this thing that they do, this recreational outrage. They just like to be unhappy and they try to make other people unhappy. So Charles Anderson, if you are here, I want to get with you. Yeah, it is. It just is. I want to get with you about the stuff. I do appreciate these. I want to get with you about the stuff that is coming back to you. I want to try and get that shipped out before I leave for Vegas. So that's one of the things I was going to talk about. Yeah, they try to. They'll try to make your life miserable. I have the 21st. I haven't got to see my family in like a month. I've only talked to them like 3 times the entire time they've been gone, which is out of character. They've just been busy. So we didn't really get a chance to talk, FaceTime, none of that, mainly because they usually spend like 2.5, almost 3 months in Japan. So this year they only went for a month because of my daughter's ice skating schedule. So it was condensed. And so when they come back, I haven't got to see them for a month, but we haven't got to talk to each other, really do like anything like to stay in touch because they've been running around trying to cram all the stuff they usually do, seeing the rest of the family. And my sister-in-law had throat cancer, so they're spending time with her now that she's feeling better. All that stuff crammed in, which means that I didn't get to see my wife and kid on FaceTime or anything. But I think I talked to my daughter twice on FaceTime. I talked to my wife twice. So I talked to them like combined 4 times. So just expect that if you're sending me something after the 21st, that there's a chance that I'm going to tell you it's going to be a little bit because we have the weekend of like this coming weekend, and then I leave for Vegas the following Thursday, and I won't be back from there until Sunday. So there won't be any work done Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. So because I'm going to be at the USN show. So I've got stuff coming that people told me is coming. I've got something that's supposed to show up this morning according to UPS, and I'm gonna try and get it done because I'm not gonna do shipping until after 10. But this is gonna be quick. I'm only gonna be on here for a few more minutes because I got to start getting other stuff packed up. I'm sending one of these to Jim Skelton. I'm sending one of these to Knife Nuts Podcast, Levon at the Knife Nuts Podcast. I'm sending him one of them. Jim's gonna send me pictures Jim's gonna do pictures and send it back to me, and then I'm sending it from him. When it gets back from him, I'm sending it to Blade Banter, and then yeah, my sister's their AC is out at the house, and well, it doesn't bother me. It's here when I don't have AC because it never gets that really super humid except a few days out of the year. It's kind of humid today. But today is only supposed to be like 70, 78? It's only supposed to be 78 degrees? No. I don't have a custom. If I had a custom that I owned, guys, when I started doing this, I didn't think about the fact that starting this business and maintaining constant income for a little while was a good thing. I wanted out of that job so badly. And so I burned my bridges. Yeah, 80% humidity. It's only like 65% humidity, 60% humidity here. And that's because it's morning. So, it's been tough. And when I was making those custom knives, I couldn't keep any of them. I couldn't keep my prototypes. I couldn't keep any of them. The only knife prototype I have is the one that I made for my daughter. So, you know, it's rough. I did put myself in that situation, but I needed out of that job so badly. I just didn't see anything. I burned my bridges. I burned my boats. I had no other option. I just couldn't do that job anymore. It was fucking killing me. So here I'm at 45, start the business, and now after it's been two years now, 2 years we've been doing this, right? I think 2 years. I think July is 2 years. No, July is 3. I don't know. I could look at the date that I left. It's on that paddle in there. But yeah, I mean, I just couldn't do it anymore, and I didn't see another option, and so I just quit. I couldn't take it. I quit. I'd never quit a job before in my life unless I was going to go somewhere else. I got fired from a job once. Gonna have to be, but when you do a comparison, it looks fantastic. Yes, they are. There's some differences, the way the handles are contoured and everything, and some people do and some people don't. Majority of people like the way the handles feel. There are gonna be some people that are like, that lip is gonna bother them, where it comes down and then there's some material on the outside. It does not bother me. I don't feel any hot spots, but then again, I designed this knife for my hands. So, I had a couple people ask questions about the jimping. The jimping is not rounded at all on the inside. It is chamfered on the corners, but those tops are just flat cut, and down in there, there's just a sharp edge. I posted a picture of it on Instagram. So did sharpen this one yesterday, even though I had a headache. I had they do run their 20 CV a bit lower than I do, but I didn't see a real significant difference after I sharpened it, and I definitely didn't really notice a significant difference in cutting. I did, however, notice that knives that I've done in 20 CV that have hit other items like maybe a piece of metal or a piece of concrete, which is what I happened to do when I was cutting down that big ass box. I've dropped one of my knives when I made it on the concrete and be like, oh, I knocked the tip off of it, and then really look at it and be like, dude, I fucking made a hole in the concrete. This is not as robust for impact resistance. And that goes with territory because, like I said, at 63 Rockwell, that's where you're getting maximum impact and maximum wear resistance in 20 CV. And so when I hit the concrete, it's not quite as impact resistant, I don't think, because it didn't chip, but it definitely needed a new edge. There was a big spot. It does some. It's a workhorse on concrete. It's nice and thin, and it went right through, and I hit the dunk right off the concrete, and I was like, ah, fuck. So I did sharpen this yesterday, but it seemed to hold up pretty well up until the point where I decided to try and cut through some concrete. So, and I've been wearing it pretty much all day, every day, to see, because it's like, I forget how many ounces. It's like 6. How convenient. I was weighing a package that had to go to Spain so that I knew what to charge the guy. But then I remembered flat rate box so this is 6.5 ounces. 6.5 ounces is the weight on these. And it's balanced well. It sits in your hand really well. I wish it had a little bit more weight forward, but I do understand that adding material to the handles changed the weight. But I mean, it just wants to sit right in your hand. Nice. But anyway, enough shilling my own product. Go buy one. You'll love them. What else was I going to talk about? Oh, anyway, so yeah, I got so much of this stuff done here in the house. Summer's slow, and I knew it was going to be slow. Even with the special, which, by the way, you have today, tomorrow, and the 21st to claim that. If you want knives done at that price, you've got to set it up with me so we can get the payment. all 8 tonight. I think you should get yourself a bolt action 17 HMR and sit on your back porch and then make coon stew. Raccoon actually is not bad to eat. So, but guys, not to keep sounding like a fucking broken record, but there's 12 of us and there's only 3 likes. If we don't, that's how we share stuff. That's how, and I've been getting into what they call the shadow blocking. So do me a favor, when you guys see a post on Instagram, like it so I can see how many people are getting it. This is not an evil plot to get likes. I want to see how many people are actually seeing my Instagram posts. So next time I post something up, just even if you don't really like it, just like it so I can see how many people are actually seeing my posts. So that's where when I was talking with Uncle Sam's Misguided Children, he's been shadow blocked. He's actually on a blacklist for Google. If you type it in, unless you know his exact website, it's not going to come up on Google. It's a document that got leaked where they said, oh, there is no blacklist. And then a document from a Google employee got leaked. And there's definitely a fucking blacklist. And Uncle Sam's Misguided Children is on it. And I don't see why, because all he's doing is veterans' rights activism. He does put a lot of political stuff up, but the whole thing, like I said, if Google's going to have a political agenda, then just say you're going to have a political agenda. I'm fine with that. I'm fine. It's a privately owned company. If they decide they want to take a political stance, that's their choice. But don't fucking lie about it. And that's why we've been having so many problems with the YouTube channel. It's because I say things that are not exactly in line. I say things that are not exactly in line with what Google thinks that the majority of its subscribers want. And so they've rigged this algorithm around things. And I 100% know that that's why you guys aren't getting notifications. After I saw the blacklist and then I heard about shadow banning, which is just basically what they'll do is they will basically, yellow, it's gonna be yellow. Just picture Dwayne in a yellow banana hammock. Yellow with a red stripe up the middle. Anyway, so what they do is it's called shadow banning. And I knew that was something that was happening, and it's with black socks. Black dress socks? So shadow banning's a thing, and that's basically, like when they told me that, like, oh, with your channel, you need a lot more likes. And I was like, why? It's like, well, because of the way the algorithm works for knife channels. And I'm like, oh. And then that's when I started getting into looking into it, and I was like, that's shadow banning. It's like, you're not gonna see my stuff pop up in the feeds. Except for certain things. Like if you type in SM100, I'm like one of the first videos that pops up in Google. There's gotta be specific things. It's not like it's gonna be real easy to find stuff that I put up. So, but guys, I have got to get off of here I'll give you till 30 minutes. We'll do a 30-minute live feed and then I'm gonna go. How much does my coffee cup weigh with coffee in it? 1 pound, 4 ounces. Well, 4 3/4 ounces. That's what my coffee cup weighs. So, anybody got any questions that I can answer? I got to sharpen, I'm going to try and get that small Sabenza done. That one that's so bad. And then there's, Ben Marshall stuff is in here, but Ben's stuff might have to wait. I want to get some of this shit shipped today. Especially Luke Albert's SM100. I finished it last week, and I didn't do shipping last week because I only had 2 things to ship because I shipped stuff Monday, and by Friday I only had like 2 or 3 things to ship, including his. And I was like, it's not worth making a trip. So I'm gonna try and get it figured out for Taz. I have to package this up and get this off to Aussie land. So he's in Tasmania. So I'm gonna try and get that off to him today. But I gotta figure some stuff out. And then guys, I am going to sell one of the prototypes. I have not decided which one. Have not at all decided which one of these I'm going to part with. But they've both been used. I'm just trying to figure out which carbon fiber I like better, marble or... That will probably be a raffle. That will be one of those ones, since I'm trying... You know what? So many people said that, and I don't think it does. You know what it reminds me more of? His blade's got a lot thinner profile. The back is swept more. It's similar, but the fact is, a drop point blade is a drop point blade. It's real hard to come up with a different drop point design. I look at it and I see that I definitely took some influences from my Reat. Well, let me show you. I definitely took some influences from Dave's knife. And I specifically told Dave that. Where's my... it's definitely different, but there's some... You know, it's a drop point. The blade on this is got more belly and it's broader, but I definitely, that blade shape is something I really, really like. And so, you know, people say, oh, it looks just like something. I'm like, no, it doesn't. You know what it looks like? It looks just like the custom knives I made, because I had never seen that knife before. Didn't really realize how similar I came on this blade. This blade's a good bit different. But, I mean, at this point, there's only so many things you can do with a nice knife, unless you're Elijah Isham and you just put all kinds of crazy fucking... Horizon D. It's the Reat Horizon D. There's only so many facets and things you can do on a knife and have it still be... this was meant to simply be what it is. It's a functional camp knife. It wasn't supposed to be artistic. It wasn't supposed to be all attractive. It was simply to be what it is, a fucking workhorse. It looks like a shark, now that I look at it. That's what I was getting ready to say. Military guys gravitate to a specific type of knife. Cook Customs made a knife that was real similar to this. It was, the blade was a good bit broader, and I don't think it had as much drop to it. But I mean, it was real similar. Cook Customs made that, and I saw those at knife shows, and those military guys carried them all the time. You know, there's a specific thing that if you're in the military, you look for a knife, like multiple purpose use. It's got, you're limited on what you can carry, so you've got to get as much done with one tool as possible. That's why the Gerber and Leatherman, the Gerber tools and the Leatherman are so popular with the military, is because how much more work can you get done with one thing? So, you know, as opposed to having to carry multiple things, because when you had a K-bar, it's a big, bulky fucking thing, and then you'd have to carry a pocket knife to do any small chores. That was part of the purpose. So, not to keep shilling my item, but why not? It's my channel. So, I am definitely noticing that we are not getting the traffic on anything anymore like we were. And that's, like I said, that shadow banning stuff is, it's a thing. It's a thing. I've just resolved myself to seeing that it's just going to continue to get worse. But we got, like, I keep getting more subscribers. So I would imagine they just watch them later, but I'm not seeing, like, I've got 4,048 subscribers, right? But I'm not seeing any videos that everyone's watching. Unless they're watching them on platforms that doesn't show the watch, you know what I'm saying? Maybe they're watching them on a different streaming platform. Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. So like, I'm like, okay, I've got 4,000 subscribers. I keep getting new subscribers, but I don't see that in the views. You know what I mean? Like, it's weird. It's weird. And I can't... Twitter and Facebook. I'm gonna resurrect my Twitter account. Yeah, the views show up. That's the thing. Like, there's other ways to view YouTube videos, like Amazon Silk and stuff like that. And I don't know if those, because my box that's sitting right here, and I don't want to say her name because then she'll come to life. I can watch YouTube videos on there. Hey, what's up, David? I can watch YouTube videos on here. Well, here, watch. I'll show you. Here's how it works. So when you watch YouTube on here, I gotta finish cleaning up. Get that away. I was cleaning the kitchen and I was using that on the glass. Alexa, open YouTube.
Here's YouTube.
So you get Amazon Silk, and then videos come up, and like right now it shows that I'm live. But, and it says there's 11 people watching, but I don't know how it works. Alexa, go to the home screen. I don't know how all these other platforms that people stream from, because I know you can watch it on Roku and stuff like that. I don't know if that counts towards views or not. I don't know. And I don't know if all the thumbs up are even making a difference. I have no clue, but I mean, we'll do what we can do to get the channel going. I mean, like, it can't be that they can't be banning, like, once you reach a certain point, they've got to stop, because then it's bad business for them. Like Nick Shabazz and Jim Skelton, they shouldn't be shadow banning them. They've got a lot of subscribers. You know, that's when you're getting up into the realm where YouTube's making significant money and they realize people want to see that. So I think you've just got to get to a point. I think I'm just going to have to slog through it and just keep putting up videos, because the thing is, the more videos you put up, the more interaction there is. Like that Cold Steel video, it's got thousands of likes. I think it's over 1,000 likes, well over 1,000 likes, and a bunch of dislikes. So that's my most interaction, but that's also my most viewed video. That's that one that's at like 100 and something thousand views. That's the only video I've ever had break that. And I got one that's like 30 or 40,000 views, stuff like that. And so, you know, that's what we have to do. I'm just gonna have to gut it out. And like I said, guys, there's not gonna be knife content very often in the live feeds, unless I'm trying to do a live sharpening video. So I haven't been able to. I've tried. I was gonna. Yeah, well, I'm not banned. It's obvious I'm not banned. If I was banned, no one would be finding me. I wouldn't be getting new subscribers. But like I said, I think part of it is that you have the subscription button, but then you have multiple things, like people, oh, I hit the bell, but did you say you wanted all notifications? If you don't say you're gonna get all notifications, YouTube will use that algorithm about my channel and decide when and it wants to send you. But if you hit all on that bell, you should be getting all of my videos. You should get a notification every time they go up. So, and I did a video on the, no, I'm ugly on a full screen. I mean, I'm ugly like this, but I did a live feed. I played Sniper Elite on the game channel the other night. I just haven't had time. Every time I get done for the day dealing with, because as much as I said I wasn't going to get involved with the marketing of the knife, I kind of just wanted to make sure, you know, that's my livelihood. And people like, we were talking with somebody, I was like, well, how much time would you I was complaining about handles. We were talking with my buddy Luke, and I was complaining about handles, and I was like, I won't make handles unless somebody's going to pay me for every minute of the time it took to make those handles. I hate making handles. I love making knives. It's a fun hobby. It's great. And I've managed to get fairly good at it. But I hate making handles. It's the worst part. You're dealing with the composite. It's everywhere. It's dirty. It's nasty. It feels like you're covered with fiberglass. You itch. And so that's my least favorite part. And it is time consuming. It takes about between 4 and 6 hours to make a set of handles. After I've thinned the material to the thickness I want based on the customer's request. And so, you know, to get paid to make handles, I'm like, I'm not a handle maker, and I'm not a knife maker. I designed a knife. I'm a knife sharpener. I make knives part-time as a hobby for fun, that basically pays for itself. I don't make any money on knives when you look at how much time. And so the whole thing was, I was like, if I take 4 hours to make a set of handles and I don't charge close to $400, then I've spent money as opposed to making money. And then he was like, yeah, but think about how much time you spent trying to get, you know, dealing with distributors and vendors. Because I was talking to a place in Russia. I talked with a place in Finland, and a couple places like that. So I've been, you know, and I have spent a lot of time, but it's time that I normally would be spending playing a video game, watching a movie, things like that. And the fact is, like, that I don't consider that time that I wasted spending money. I consider that time towards the possibility of future money. That's that yellow time that I told you guys about in a video. So it's like that double-edged sword. Do I not spend this time and just throw it out there and just let it happen, or do I interact with some of these people, like people at I'm trying to get a hold of somebody at DLT. Yeah, and he's right. He's fucking right. You figure how many hours, like, let's put it this way. Guys, when I spend a day heat treating, if I'm not doing anything else, if all I have to do is heat treat, like I don't have any stuff, but I had sharpening stuff to do, if I go heat treat, that's an 8-hour day. So if you figure, like I said, an hour at my workbench is about, yeah, it's a great model to just think of, because basically when you look at it, anytime you're not making money or prepping to make money, you're spending money. Red time costs you money. Sleeping, eating, watching a TV show, fucking around on your phone, taking a lunch break. That is all. I'm gonna run past. I got time. You're gonna run past your available making money time real easily when you start looking at how much red time you're spending. This right now technically is red time. It could be considered yellow because there are, every once in a while, I get people on here and they're like, hey, I want to send you something, and it's kind of a yellow time. This is red time, but I'm okay with that because, like I've said before, this is great. I love doing this. I love doing these live feeds in the mornings. I just realized real quick here, real not too long ago, how much time I was actually spending doing them. So if I do an hour-long live feed once a week, and then I do videos later that, what, you love babies, congrats, what? What, who said, oh, I didn't even see that comment, Jeremy. Congratulations, Grandpa. So, what was I saying? Yeah, I mean, you have to look at your time model. And if you're the best, if you really want to do it, what you do, going back through puberty again, maybe that hair will grow back. Oh my God. So, what was I saying? If you, I would say take a calendar with you, and not a calendar, like a day planner. It is not downtime. It takes a lot because I can shoot the video. That's not a problem. Shooting a video is what takes a while is editing and putting things together and transitions and making it the way I want it to look. But like, take a day planner and everything you do for the day. Take your green, take your yellow, and take your red highlighter. And during the hours when you catch yourself fucking around on Instagram, look at how long you've been doing it, mark that as red time. And I mean every minute of your day. And look and see at how much red time versus green and yellow you're getting. I did this when I first started this. When I first started insurance, I got a day planner and I marked stuff with a highlighter. If I sat down to eat, if I parked my car and I sat down to eat, that was all red time. I was not making money. If I was talking to a customer about maybe coming back in a week or two to talk to the owner, you know, or if maybe there was like, you know, let me think about it, and then can you come back next week and we'll talk. That's yellow time. I'm setting up for possible future. When you're actually enrolling people in the insurance, in the portal, and you're getting, they're starting their payment process, that's green time. Yellow, green, and red. And if you were to be honest and brutal with yourself, even when you work for another company, look at how much time you are spending actually working. Remember Office Space? I'd say in any given week, I maybe do 15 hours of work. That's what he said. I bet, because I've seen it. We had guys like that were in our office. And I'm one of those guys that I'll just work until the work's done. It's a military mindset. And when you would look at how much work was getting done by others and how much work was getting done by you, same kind of thing. They needed a red, green, and yellow model. I just didn't realize I knew it, but I just didn't realize it. And so figuring out where you're wasting time is one of the most important things as a businessman. I realized I was wasting a lot of time talking to customers on the phone. You know that you can't really call me. The only time a customer can call me is if I tell them that I want to talk to them. Everything's done via email, going on Instagram, and for anything except a specific purpose. Like, I've got to send this guy a message, or I want to talk to this guy about this. You got to do some drinking. It's a little early. Well, I mean, it's noon there, so you're safe. Just being brutally honest with yourself about wasting time. I'm not gonna lie. Last week, Wednesday, I wasted almost the entire day. But, hear me out. Last week, Wednesday, I was fixing shit around the house that needed to get done. I'm red time. I'm spending money. I had to buy things. I had to buy a new shower head. I had to buy a bunch of other stuff to do that. I was spending money and I was spending time. I could have been making money because I needed to get this done. Shower head upstairs was falling apart anyway, needed replaced. New drain plug, new, cleaning everything up, making sure the last little touches are done, new shower curtain rod. All that stuff costs money, but it's stuff that had to be done. So you'll have red time sometimes that's unavoidable. Doctor's appointments, dentist appointments, eye doctor, fucking, you were sick, things like that. Yesterday, that migraine, I could have been doing, I did some work yesterday morning, but I could have gotten so much done, but then I had a migraine and it basically put me in red time. I felt it brewing. When I got up in the morning, I'm like, this is gonna be bad. And I wound up laying on the couch watching B movies for a while, and then I just couldn't get that headache to break, so I went to bed, hoping that I would wake up and it would be gone. So, any way you look at it, you're still spending money. It's still red time. And then, like, I drove up to Cerberus Knives. No, that was what I did Wednesday. Thursday was the day. Thursday was the day that I got some work done, and then just, I had so much other stuff. It was red time. Yes, clusters. That's what I was having yesterday. I just felt like my head was gonna explode. And so I'm not gonna lie, I took a sleeping pill. I haven't taken a sleeping pill in years. I took a sleeping pill, and 7 o'clock last night, I went to bed. I was out. So, but yeah, I mean, you have to be brutally honest with yourself. I mean, not necessarily if you work at a different company, because that's what I was telling Luke. I was like, if I worked at a company and I was able to, if I worked at a company and I just kind of fucked off and I didn't get caught and I didn't care, like, if I'm not doing anything, I mean, eventually they're probably gonna catch you if I can dicking around because you're not meeting deadlines and shit. But I mean, really, you're still getting paid. Sick time and vacation time, I don't have that. I'm perfectly fine with that. I'm not complaining. I'm not saying, God, I wish I had vacation time. I'm not. I did this. This was the plan. I knew it was going to be rough. And for any of you guys that think I'm just complaining and bitching about it, I'm not. There's things I wasn't expecting to be difficult that are. $800. I owe the franchise tax board for California $800, and I'm like, I should be able to pay that easy. But every time every time I get ready to pay it, I look at it and I was like, I can't pay that right now. I've got this and this and this and this. But it's just, it just fucking seems like no matter what you try to do, you just never quite can get ahead. And I know that that's the beginning of any small business, slogging through and things like that. So that's why I took the time all the way back around full circle. That's why I took the time to deal with vendors and talk to Blade HQ and talk to, can't tell you that one yet. Talk to that company in the Netherlands and a company in Russia. And I'm working on trying to find a vendor in Australia if I can get it. Because this shouldn't be that big of an issue. It's not a folding knife. It's not a flipper. It's a fucking outdoors knife. If I can get it in Australia, because this would be a good steal for the humid 20 CV at this HRC, real corrosion resistant. So at that point, you know, you're looking at a knife that you can have in a wet, humid, hostile environment. So Australia, like I said, Australia, Russia. I tried to get a hold of, my father-in-law is trying to get a hold of a Japanese hardware store and locally and see if they want to get a couple, but I don't think they will because, yeah, I mean, like this month, I knew coming into August that I wasn't gonna, I made more money in August than I was expecting to tell you the truth. But still, it was just barely more than our mortgage. But that's okay. I had accounted for that. I knew that this month was going to be bad. It always is. August in the knife world, August for small businesses is garbage. Our friend Bill, real estate, he's like, I just, July and August, he's like, just write them off. May as well just write them off. He's like, part of September too. And I was like, and then the thing is now, too, it used to be, they've added Blade Show West to the schedule of knife shows. There's so many knife shows, and so people save their money and then buy knives. Well, a lot of times after show, I get a big boost. So I just know what's coming. Yeah, and that's what I was saying. August, it's August. Well, and then end of August is USN. So a lot of folks that would have money for knives are just kind of like, hey, I'm going to USN. And then right after USN, November 1st is fucking, November 1st is the Blade Show West. But the week before that is the Cali Custom Show, which I'm not 100% sure if I'm going this year or not to Cali Custom Show. I had fun last year, but I mean, I need to, but I just don't know if I've got the money. I'm not going to have the money. And plus the thing is, I don't know when my mother's leaving. My mom gets here on the 5th of September. So it's, you know, it's crammed right now. It's crammed. And, but the nice thing is, as far as money coming in, the wife goes back to work just pretty much right after they get back. Oh, crap. I have to go to my, yeah. So tomorrow I've got red time because my daughter's not here. I have to go to her orientation and get her schedule and her, she doesn't have to get a picture for it, but I have to pick up her, they're going to use last year's picture. I already talked to them. Her school ID for the school year this year. And I have to, if they put her down for the same elective arts, as opposed to, because she's there for ballet, is, hey, what's up, Ken? If they have her down for choir, we said we were going to switch it this year. She wants to do art. She does not like singing. She likes performing. She doesn't like to speak or sing in public. And I told her she's going to have to get over that because she's good enough now. People are going to start doing interviews with her. Yeah, Ken, not to be a Nazi, because you're alive. Punctuation saves lives. It does. You want an example? Let's go eat, comma, kids, versus let's go eat, kids. Big difference. Punctuation saves lives. Guys, I'm off of here. I'm going to go finish these last couple knives, and then I'm going to pack stuff up, and I'm going to let Robert know that I'm shipping his stuff. I've got his address. I just got to get him to pay me. So I will finish the video. I filmed a video Saturday. I wanted to finish it. I don't like how it turned out. Probably just gonna refilm it today, but it won't be till later. So it's about the Voyager Tonto. I can't seem to get that video the way I want it, and I just don't want it because it's a nice knife and it was a gift. And I kind of want to get to like how Cold Steel is starting to redeem itself, because that is a really nice knife. Their quality has gotten, they had that little dip when I was complaining, and now their quality went back up. You know who else? You ready for this? Fanboys are gonna love this. They're going, eventually you're gonna change your fucking song. The Emerson knives that I've seen come in recently have been leaps and bounds better. And I'm just waiting to get one of the new ones in so that I can kind of say, hey, remember this when I was talking about fit and finish? Is it great? No, but is it way better than it was? Yeah. And that's, I'm starting to see that. Benchmade has not gotten better, Jason. That's because you live in Portland and you want to think that they've gotten better. As if anything, the Benchmade knives I've had come in have gotten worse. The ones that I've had come in are worse than the ones that were coming in before when I was complaining. So, but at any rate, guys, I do have a lot of stuff to get done, and then I have got to completely clean the house. Saturday, that's part of what I did Saturday, even though I hung out with my friend Saturday evening. I cleaned the carpets, I washed the dog, I cleaned the whole house. Again, I cleaned the couch, swept the couch and cleaned up. The dog sleeps on the couch, she drools, so there's drool spots where you sprayed the whole couch down with upholstery cleaner, cleaned it real good, rinsed it. And I mean, you'll get one every once in a while, Jason, don't get me wrong. You will, but the ones I've been seeing have been horrible. So did all that. Fuck it, it's only 15 more minutes. It's not like I have a ton that I can do today. It's like slow. So I can spend an hour with you guys. So it's, you know, did all that. And then, like I said, yesterday I had a migraine, but it's just been, it's been an interesting week trying to get everything figured out. And I sold the custom. I sold the custom with the crazy handles. So I sold that. I'll stick around for a few more minutes, Jacob. I'm, like I said, it's slow, so I can spend. How much does this weigh? Now that I'm curious. So this is 5 1/4 ounces, and this is 6 1/2. This, man, look at the edge. This knife, from the day I got it, has taken the most vicious edge. And like I said in that video, the best production knife I've ever owned. I'm not gonna lie, it's still better than this. It is. That production knife is better than my own production knife. Just because of how fucking sexy it is. Spyderco's QC. Let's talk about Spyderco. I don't want to piss off any of the fanboys. Well, let me go grab mine. So my Endura that came, it's got a horrible, but you can still see it right there and right, let's see, can I get it so that you can see the cloudy spot right there? Grind on it was horrible. Now, this is still an incredibly nice knife, but the thing is, the entire grind is a little bit off. Not much, and I'm not gonna complain. This knife was a gift, and I really appreciate it. But the fact is, that's a computer ground knife that has got a, it's got issues. This one, this is a Seki City, Japan. They are okay, and I'm not gonna lie to you, the plunge is smoother, but it's like, I wish I could get it in and show you. Like, you have to look at it from the top, and you can see that it's ground a little bit more over one direction. Now, that whole grind, it winds up being even, but you can just kind of see that the whole blade has kind of a, well, it's almost like it's curved. It really does have a minor curvature to it. At the edge, though, that's not as big a deal. I'm sharpening it, so I'm maintaining the angle, but it's something that I've seen in Spyderco's. And that doesn't mean that, that means to me that their machine is misaligned. Their machine is misaligned, and they're bragging about their computer ground edges, their robot ground edges. And they basically have went and gotten their edges as bad, if not worse, than Benchmade. And so a company that so let me clarify this, guys. I want you guys to understand. Oh, I've seen some horribly hand ground knives though. Let me make this implicitly clear to you guys. Like people like, are you're just hating on this company and that company. I love Spyderco knives. I love the Endura knife. It is amazing. Older Spydercos are great. I used to love Benchmade, and I still want them to. It's one of those companies that you grew up loving, and then you see it decline, and you're like, I want them to be so good again. And that's the frustration thing. And then that's when I get frustrated with people that just aren't, they only hear part of what I'm saying. I'm like, I wish that they would go back to what they were. I wish that these companies would take a good hard look and say, okay, let's put out a few less units every day. Let's put out like 100 less units every day. And let's get back to the level of quality. Let's take a little bit more time on everything we do, just a little bit. And if we make 100 less units a day, we're gonna make a better product. Because while I know they have to make money, they still have got to make sure they're making a good product for the customer. And that's where I get frustrated, when it's all about money. I could have easily put this knife out into the world with the flaws that were in the prototypes and be like, yep, sell them. I don't fucking care. I didn't want that. I wanted that knife to be as close to perfect, as close to what I wanted in my production, or in my customs, as possible. So I did not allow corners to be cut. 20 CV steel, titanium hardware. I wanted micarta handles for you guys. They don't make micarta, they don't carry micarta in Japan. It's not something you can get, and to get it there is expensive. That's more of a, micarta is a material that just really doesn't have a use anymore. For the majority of people, except in the knife world. Micarta used to be used as insulators. Westinghouse used it as insulator for circuits and things like that, and made insulators out of micarta. But now that's been replaced by other things, ceramics and things like that. G10, the reason G10 is so prevalent is because G10 is still actually used to make circuit boards. G5 and G10, the neutral, the jade looking stuff, is used to make circuit boards. And then they put circuit boards on them because it's insulated. So, you know, it's one of those things, like, I had to make some concessions because there's just no other way to do it. But, you know, when you see a company that used to be top tier, like really, there was a lot of times back a few years ago, 5-6 years ago, where I would have taken a fucking Spyderco over almost any knife out there. And I don't mean just because my tastes changed. I'm saying there was a good chunk of time where Spydercos were built like a fucking bank vault. And there were no flaws, and they were great, and they were some of the sharpest knives you'd ever get. But that changed. And it's frustrating. Same thing with Benchmade. I used to love Benchmade knives. When they were a smaller company, a startup, they were fucking big in the military. The exchanges always carried them. They had vendors come out and sell them to the military and things like that. Gerber, there's another one. Gerber, I used to love Gerber knives. But the fact is that Gerber's quality of, and I would love to see those companies come back to what they were. Do you know one company that I will say, honestly, honest to God, I loved when I was growing up, I still love them, and I don't have one of their knives anymore to even do a video about it? Buck Knives. Buck Knives has maintained a level of quality that is commensurate to what I saw when I was younger. And still, you get a Buck 110 in hand, and you're like, this is fucking great. This is great. They have maintained their quality and maintained pretty much the price point. Case knives. Case knives, there's another one. Case knives are fucking great. Still made, Bradford, Pennsylvania, same place where they make Zippo lighters. don't even have fluid in this, but this is my lucky lighter. They're doing things the same way they've always done it. And they're doing just like I said, they do it a little slower. Those companies that have maintained that level of quality, they might not sell as many units, but they have a loyalty that's not a false sense of loyalty. This company is taking care of me. I broke a buck 110, I sent it back, they sent me a brand fucking new one. I told them the situation. I was like, I'm in the Navy, I was cutting, the fucking line moved and it bent and it caught in between. I was trying to cut a line that we needed to get it cut, and it got pinched between a lifeline and the blade, and it just broke a big chunk mid-blade. Just took a chunk about the size of the Spidey hole, about half that Spidey hole out of the blade. I explained it to him, told him what happened, because just the force smacked it into the metal and it just broke it off because of biting into that line. And I sent that to them, just saying, hey, what can you do? I'll buy another one, but you know, is there anything you do? They sent me a brand new fucking buck 110. So, you know, it's one of those things. I love buck knives. I don't own one. I've got to find it here. Dwayne Smotherman sent me a fucking knife that I was like, he was like, oh, you can auction. I'm not getting rid of that. I have the Schrade old timer folder that looks like the buck. He sent me one of those, and it's got burl wood handles, and it's a nice knife. Schrade still makes some nice knives. But you see it. You see companies that used to be great, that could be again if they would just take a step back and say, hey, maybe we should just put out 100 less units a day and take that extra time and just make sure that everything's right. Instead of that, Benchmade just decided to spend all that time and make an $800 cigar cutter. Here's the thing. I have never had a Ziti come in with that lock issue. And when a Ziti comes in, that's one of the first things I do. I'm like, I want to do a video about this. And I have yet to have, I think it's just because customers I have been lucky and have not had one, but I've done spine whack tests on soft materials, roll of tape, all those things. And I've done it aggressively, and I haven't been able to duplicate that. But I will say, Vinny Nero did a video and he showed a lot. I think almost every ZT he had up on that table had that issue. So I haven't seen it personally, but I do know it happens. Well, I've talked to you guys about things that can happen with your lock. Good morning, sir. I'm about done. So there's things that can happen in your knife that can screw up your lock. So one of the things can be check and make sure your lock bar insert, if it has one, is tight. Because if your lock bar insert gets loose or you fucked around with it, it gets at an angle and then you're not getting the lockup you're supposed to, and you'll have blade play and your lock can slip. This knife does not have that issue. That hurt. This knife does not have that issue. One of the other things that can happen is that your pivot is loose and it's allowing the blade to move over enough that you're not getting solid lockup and a lock slips off. That's a couple of things that can happen. The other thing is it could just be that your lock face is worn and you just need an oversized stop pin. So, and then what that does is that kicks the back of the blade up a little bit, and then it kicks it back in so that you've got more pressure on the lock bar. So you're basically reestablishing your lockup position. So, yeah, there's things that can cause it. It could be that, but I mean, who knows? Because I've had people send me knives like, oh, it's the problem's this, the problem's this, and can you regrind a lock face? And I'm like, if you've got lock slip, regrinding that lock face is not going to solve it. What it's going to do is make your lock slip worse or make the lock not engage at all. So I've had people tell me like, oh yeah, you got that lock rock. All you do is just take a little material off the lock face, not the lock face, the lock interface on the lock tang. And I'm like, that's absolutely not what you do. That's absolutely 100% not what you do. But there's people that do that I've seen so many Ferrum Forge knives come in for warranty work, and that's exactly what someone did. Well, I reshaped the radius. Well, why would you do that? Are you a knife maker? Are you a knife maker? The only thing I've ever done is I've had a couple knives come in, and I will tell you something, if you have lock stick, and I told this to a knife maker, and he goes, that makes absolute sense. So he was making knives that were titanium on steel lockup, and it was a polished radius right in there. And I told him, I was like, when I got that knife home from the customer, I took a piece of 80 grit sandpaper and I scuffed that polished lock interface, because he was like, I told the customer, he's like, I talked to the maker and I've sent it to him and it still does exactly what it did. What happens is when you got that lock face, this is the last thing I'm gonna talk about. When that lock face is titanium and then the lock tang on the butt of the blade is polished, what happens is that allows that titanium to gall to it so much better, and then it slips off. Pop, pop, pop. It's a steel on titanium. So so you get that, and so what happens is because it's so smooth. Now, if you open that up and put a little bit coarser, there's less points for the material to gall to, and so then you've alleviated some of that, and it's not sticking so tightly. And it's just something as simple as that. And I mean, I don't make folding knives, but I know enough people that do. That's one of the things they talk about is if you polish that surface too much, which is why one of the only things that I mask when I refinish a knife is that lock face, because I do not want to change the pattern that's on it. So that, you can recarbonize the lock face. With both of those, you wind up with something that's kind of what I did with that Aaron Frederick. It had a little bit of lock stick. We recarbonized the lock face. Exactly, you're reducing the surface area that the titanium can gall to. And then if you recarbonize the lock face, you're putting a harder material in there for the titanium below it to deform a little bit, and you still get your good lockup, but it's not gonna stick because the carbide, the tungsten carbide that you put on that surface it's not gonna gall. So it's a lot like putting a really super thin lock bar insert on top of your titanium. That's basically what you do. You put a harder piece of material, you adhere it to the titanium, and then it's there. So that's it, guys. That's it. I gotta pack this stuff up. I have 2 more boxes. I got 2 more knives to sharpen before I go to the post office, but you know, they haven't even opened yet. It's only 10 a.m. here, and they changed their office hours for this week down there to 10:30. I guess they've got something going on in the mornings where there's gonna be limited availability of power, so their power doesn't come on till like 10, so they're running late. So 10:30 is when time office hours for drop-offs start. So I'm out of here, guys. I will see y'all later. Like I said, keep your eyes open. That Voyager video, I'm probably gonna just reshoot the whole thing today. I can't spit out what I want to come out the right way, and I don't script anything. I can't do it reading from a script. So I'll sit down and I'll think about exactly what I want to talk about that knife. But guys, thanks for hanging out for an hour. I'll talk to you all later. Oh wait, who was that said something about their Mordax? Wait. Looks like UPS lost my original Mordax. Oh no. From Chris and Elliot, it got lost? Ken, get a hold of me after. Get a hold of me after this. Just give me a call. I think you've got my number. If not, it's on one of the beginnings of one of my videos. Just give me a call. I'm curious. Now I'm curious. So, guys, take it easy. I'm out. I'll talk to you later.